8-inch chucker, available with Siemens and Fanuc and in a variety of bed lengths.
Now, I wasn't party to a lot of the conversation you just had there with Lyndsey, but what I would be interested to know, and not going too much over old ground, but you've been involved in actually developing these machines, haven't you? So with that being the case, what were the aspects that you were focusing on that you really wanted to bring to market with this product?
So with naturally the skills and the knowledge that we have in our high-end products and what our customers was asking from us, we've listened to the market and the requests that we had in, and we had an 18-month project where we went through to Taiwan and looked for manufacturers that we could work with. We have our own ETG service team out based in the factory and where we develop these machines. So it ranges through from the controls, what the level of the specification the control comes through, what spindle variation we put onto the machine, whether it be a short bed or a long bed configuration.
Okay, I've got plenty more for you, but I think Lyndsey's got a question, have you?
Yeah, sorry. Having staff out there, what are the benefits of having staff out there from the beginning and making the machines?
That's a very good question. So the machine tools themselves, obviously, naturally, anybody can go out and source machine tools from a country and then import them. For us, it's very important that we need feet on the ground out at the factories. So we have a team of engineers that are based in Taiwan that work through all the different factories, and basically they have a full-time job that they basically quality check all these machines before they land here in the UK.
Okay, now I want to touch on this machine before we move to the others. What's important, Steve, with a machine of this size? I mean, we talk about the weight, the build, slant bed, 45 degree, 60 degree, BMT turret. In your head, what were you thinking that you wanted to apply to this to satisfy that market?
Our main goal with our entry level lathe is all about price. So naturally, when we talk about our high end products, it all stems back to cost per part. With these type of machines, unfortunately, it is all generated from price. So we had a goal in mind that when we went to Taiwan, that we needed to bring in a machine tool and put it out into the market at a price figure that would be attractive.
And I think we've got another question.
Well, Mark on Facebook has said, from a price point of view, where do the machines slot in for the UK?
So our entry level, this is a sub £50,000 machine. We'll move on to the lathes later. But again, so from an entry level machine, and then you work your way through the portfolio of machines. So anything entry level is less than 50k.
And Matthew Hall on YouTube says the machines look really nice and not budget at all. So there's a big compliment to you all.
Thank you.
Well, let's look a bit closer then at this one. If you want to step this way, obviously observing the 2 meter rule here, Steve. I want to look in this one because here we're looking at a machine that looks like it's got a big turret on it. It's obviously now mill drill. Is this as far as the range goes when it comes to the specification? It's either 2-axis or C-axis or mill drill.
Yeah, that's correct, Paul. So within the Vulcan range, we need to be very clear that it's only single spindle, single turret, 2-axis or 3-axis. So the range itself is very, very much an entry-level machine, obviously price sensitive to the market.
And when you start stepping up to the 250 size, and I know the one that's dry cycling behind us here, well, in fact, the biggest machine you do is a 380, isn't it? Is that the?
Yeah, so we go all the way up to a 15-inch chucker with a 6 meter bed length.
And when you go up to that size of machine, what's the marketplaces that you're trying to tap into or trying to satisfy the need of? Because that's a big machine, isn't it?
Yeah. So prior to actually officially launching the product, obviously in the background, the sales team have obviously been drumming up some inquiries, and what we've found with the 380 range is very much further up north for the larger oil and gas, railway industry is really taken upon the larger machines.
Now it's important to say that we're not looking at the 380 here. What's the model that we're looking at here?
That's the TC300. So that is the 12-inch chucker. So again, BMT turret with driven tooling.
Talk to me now, Steve, then about the bar feed. This is an interesting one because I'm seeing a bar feed here that I kind of recognise, but I don't.
Correct. So not only have we imported the machines in from Taiwan, we've put our own bodies out into the factory, so we're represented right at the front end on the shop floor during manufacturing. For the ancillary equipment that we source in the UK for British manufacturing, we've partnered up with Hydrofeed, where they have developed our own brand of bar feed to complement the turning range of machines. So it's important to note that when these bar feeds go out into the market, it will be a Vulcan bar feed, and it's heavily supported and backed up service and warranty-wise by Hydrofeed, who's one of our partners.
So you're offering the full support, as you say, with the accessories as well as the machine. The machine we see dry cycling at the back there, we didn't touch on too much detail about the spec of it. What size chuck did you say that one was?
That's a TC300. That's a 12-inch chuck with driven tooling. So again, as we keep alluding to and touching on, all these machines are entry level, but with the nature of our turnkey business, what they do get with this is the backup and support of our service department.
So your market then, Steve, turning, I know shortly, and we really do want people to keep asking the questions. We've got a lot of watchers at the moment. I know you're going to speak with Gio about the milling machines as well,
yep,
and the double columns. But who's the customer for these for you, Steve? We all know about your Nakamura products and how successful you've been with those, but they are a different entity, aren't they?
Yeah, completely different, you know. So as we said before, the Vulcan range is 2-axis and 3-axis. Anything that's multi-axis, twin spindle, we naturally move on to our Nakamura range. So this really is our opening offer for a very basic and commercially driven machine.
And the options with the machine, I see here we've got machines with FANUC control, and often when you look at a FANUC control on the machine, they all look the same. Now there does look like there's some differences here. Have you developed a FANUC system here that's different from others? Is there any features on here that are worth noting?
Yeah, so there's a number of FANUC options that we've dropped in, like standard manual guide eye, but it's the control mechanism itself, the simple button pushing functions for the operator, just to make it as ease of use. Again, across the whole Vulcan range, tool probe and parts catcher is all standard.
Swarf extraction, got to get
included
metal
swarf.
out.
Yeah, we've got to get that metal out. So swarf management is also included. Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay. Well, I think if you want to walk that way, and Chris is going to follow you.
Okay, so I have got some questions now. So Oscar says hello. So hello to you, Oscar, from all of us as well. And I've got a couple of questions for you. So Gareth on Facebook, what precision capabilities does the range have?
Very good question, and a leading question.
Let's go stand in front of the mill here.
Okay. So the lathes themselves are starting on 4 micron accuracy. So precision-wise, although being a commercially entry-level machine, they still naturally hold that tolerance. There's a number of bed lengths available and configurations such as linear rail or boxway.
Okay, so you've got a huge variety. Paul on Facebook, do you ship to Australia?
Yeah, it's a good question. We can. Well, watch this space, Paul.
Okay, and also Paul's just asked, are they linear or boxway slides, which I think you've just answered a little bit there.
So the range themselves can be linear or boxway. So availability from stock, we have to hold both configurations. Depending upon the application, you would go to either linear or boxway.
If linear, are they ball or rollaways?
Roller.
Roller. Okay, so another question that came in. And is 4th axis available?
4th axis, that on the mills, yes.
Yes.
Gio will touch on that in a minute.
Gio's going to touch on that in a minute. Sorry, we've got that many questions coming in. I'm like, yes, yes, I've got some coming in through my ear and then some on Facebook as well. So thank you. Look, the more questions we have come in, the better. This is the whole point as to why we've done a live video. We could have done a video, but and then gone out on YouTube and you put comments in post the event. It's not about that. It's about you getting involved now, seeing into these machines. If you've got a question about anything, the back of the machine, something as silly as, you know, for you to tailor it to work in your workshop, you ask those questions. So keep those questions coming in. Now we're going to get Gio talking and quizzing Steve on the milling machines. So go on, over to you, Gio.
Steve, the Vulcan VMC 610L, cosmetically, they look beautiful. They certainly don't look like a entry-level machine.
No.
Now, tell me about the range firstly, Steve.
Well, you're right, it is a beautiful machine, nearly as beautiful as you, Gio. So this particular machine is one of a family of machines. So we've got our entry-level 400, and we span all the way up to a 2.5 metre. The idea of bringing this particular model in for stock is compact, isn't it? You know, when we look at our customers now, it's all about footprint space. They can't get enough room in the factory. So for a 610 bed, nice compact design, ergonomically looking beautiful.
Absolutely. I mean, the L stands for linear, as you mentioned, 610 in the x-axis. And one of the first things that did strike me was the compact nature of this machine. It's such a small footprint. Now, another great feature with this machine is the different programming languages that are available. Can you talk us through this, please?
Yeah, so what you're looking at here, this is the Siemens Control. So we have actually 4 variants of control. We've got Siemens, Heidenhain, so available with the 640 or the 620. FANUC, so the same platform as our lathes, which is the OI platform. And we've also can offer a Mitsubishi, which is, will be new to the market, but we'll be doing a further promotion on them.
Why is it so important to offer such a wide range of programming languages?
It really depends on the end user. With our other products, we've been very, very successful with Heidenhain. So there's a lot of factories out there that have the Heidenhain control, but more so that in a production environment, FANUC tends to be the more stronger control, and Siemens complementing. You remember our days at college. Siemens is back up in supporting the colleges and schools.
So it's very versatile, lends itself to most workshops.
Yeah.
Now, we're touching on, I wasn't privy to the questions that were coming in, but I did hear that they were mentioning linear and box guideways. Now, you offer both options for each model.
Yes.
Why is this? Cutting strategies have changed. Why are you offering different configurations?
The different sectors require the different type of platform of machine. So more people are tending to move from the boxway into linear, because as you say, cutting strategies are changing, so smaller cuts but higher feeds. But there is certainly still a market for the boxway machine for that heavier duty castings, oil and gas, and then supported obviously by a powerful spindle.
And the tool configuration, Steve, how many tools does this particular model hold?
So this one's got 24 to help keep in with the footprint. We've condensed it down to a 24-arm tool change. But as you move through the range itself, you obviously can go up to a 60-tool carousel. And
it's BT40 for the linear?
Yeah, BT40 for the linear, and then you're about to point out on the boxways we go to a 50 for that rigidity.
So it gives you the rigidity. Now, talking about rigidity, what's the casting like on this particular machine tool?
So the casting is a full C-frame casting, and that goes through the whole range. So again, that was part of our development. We had a choice and variations of different casting beds, and part of our finite analysis is when we was looking at the castings themselves, we chose this particular configuration because we think that is going to offer the best out into the market.
Now, the Vulcan range doesn't compromise the rest of your machine tool range in any way, shape or form. But with such a big saturated market, is it bridging a gap? Is it giving you that potential to sell more machines? Before you probably wouldn't have had that opportunity or didn't have that product to offer.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Gio. So Quasar again are taking a direction of very, very high-end horizontal 5-axis, and we were certainly missing out on an opportunity for entry level machines. And basically, with the brains of our technical department and service department, the support that we offer onto our more premium products, we can now offer that as onto the commercial range.
Steve, I think Lyndsey's got some more questions.
I've got some more questions. They're all coming in thick and fast. Is there anything you want to another one from Oscar? Well, he's getting one for his birthday. All right. Any more questions you want to ask on the machine? Is there anything that you feel like everyone would like to know? There's
a special offer, isn't there, Steve?
Yes.
From Goering. Am I correct?
So Goering is supporting. There's obviously another one of our partners. The first set of Vulcan range machines that are due for dispatch will go with a tooling voucher.
Very nice.
And are we mentioning the double column machines, or are we coming back to them later?
I think
we'll be coming back to those in just a couple of moments' time. So just a little question here. Are the Ross Mill on Facebook, are the Siemens and Heidenhain controls the new touch screen type?
I know Ross from old, so yes, he is. So we can demonstrate that by moving around. So again, on the Heidenhain, which is exactly the same. So you've got our TNC 620 and TNC 640. so it enables you to obviously zoom in and out. So yes, Ross, all controls are touchscreen.
And Kev from Bridgend on YouTube, is the 4th axis available?
Yes. So across the machine VMC range, you'll see here we've got Blum spindle and table probes. We can interface these with 4th axis and a 5th axis, and then you've got a choice of a 4+1 or a full 5-axis interface.
And Ryan on YouTube, is it a standard spindle?
Yes. So on this machine, on the variations all the way up through to the 1600, you've got a BT40 10K spindle. We do have options of 8K gearbox, 12K, 15K, 18K, 20K.
So quite a few.
A large range. So if you can imagine, for stocking purposes, it's difficult to get the right configuration. But the spindle variants themselves, then yeah, it covers the whole range.
Okay, so if you are just tuning in, welcome. We are here at ETG's headquarters and we're covering their new Vulcan range. We've talked about turning, we've discussed milling, but there is one more area that we need to discuss, which is the column or are the column machines. But the whole point of this is for you to get into these machines and ask those questions. So we're going to be speaking about the column machines, but if you've got any more questions, now is the time to send them in, and I'll be asking Steve those just at the end of the show. So you go ahead, Jen.
So Steve, the double column machines, this was an offering that wasn't available from ETG prior to the Vulcan range landing?
Yeah, correct. We've never really ventured into the double column market. We've worked with partners before. However, the range itself comprises of basically a square machine, so 2 meters in X and 2 meters in Y. And what that spans out to is effectively a 16 meter bed. So effectively we can offer a whole variance of double column machines, which you can see here in front of us.
So with the range, can you just talk me through the range in a little bit more detail, Steve? You say 2 meters square, that's the starting point.
Yeah.
But what's the largest configuration?
So the largest, it goes up to a 16 meter bed in X by 4 meters. And obviously that's a double column. So within that full range, there's 30 variants of within that range. You've got a choice of 4-axis tables that we can put on the bed. You've got 5-axis heads, whether that be manual or fully automated.
What? Can you just answer that again? We didn't quite hear you. I think there was an issue with the sound. So if you don't mind remembering what you just said.
Right. Okay. You know, put me on the spot. So going back, to the double columns. So effectively, you get a 2 by 2 meter square machine, or we have a full range that goes up to a 16 meter bed. Within that range, you've got probably 30 products, depending upon the actual application itself, be it linear or boxway.
And what new markets does this open up for ETG? This is a large range of machine tools.
So again, there's a variation in market, whether it be oil and gas, aerospace. So again, with the aerospace industry, you've obviously got the aluminium bed designs for long components. So this has opened up a new market for us, which is again is a cost-effective double column option.
No, it's certainly a large range that complements everything else that you do, Steve. Can you give us any indication on accuracy over such a large area, such a large space? Obviously, the accuracy would be a main
concern. that is a key feature of it. So depending upon the bed length, like I say, 30 products within the full mix, you are talking a tolerance factor of around 8 microns. As you get up to that 16 meter bed, obviously that tolerance is obviously loosened.
Steve, you've
or
certainly
lapsed.
been doing some serious homework to cover all these machines live for MTDs. Brilliant.
Cheers, Johnny. Cheers, mate.
Put on the spot live as well with all these questions coming in. Paul on Facebook says, do the VMCs have the umbrella or drum tool changes?
So it's a drum tool. So it's an ATC arm. So basically we have the option for the tool to drop down and stay available for a quick tool change. But the question he's asking is the ATC arm.
Yeah, and how many tools? I mean, you may have said it already, but just
so
to repeat.
on the entry level is 24 to help keep the small footprint. And then standard across the range, then we have 30, 48 and 60.
Oh, brilliant. Wow. Okay. Gareth on Facebook, thank you for your messages. Is automation available for the run to be run lights out?
Yeah, so if we discuss the lathes, so we have effectively an automation with a bar feed solution. Again, hydro feed, we have a scenario a rotor rack unit that we can put for outsourcing the parts. And on the VMCs, we'd use our same partner with Hydrofeed for a robot interfaced unit.
Okay, Mark on Facebook, are the Vulcan range of machines aimed at job shots in the UK and Ireland?
Correct, yeah. So we have, so as part of ETG, we have our own office set up in Ireland. So this Vulcan range is completely open to the UK and Ireland.
Okay, we've got another message. This is brilliant, thank you. Rob Cantrell on Facebook, do you offer interest-free?
So yeah, that's a very, very good question. Trust Rob to ask about finance. So each machine, obviously during these difficult times, customers are nervous about investing. They need the capacity, but they're not sure on the investment. So we have funding available to support the customers, whether that be slow starts, payments, but our priority is to get the machine into the customer. So yeah, we can back up with finance options.
Okay, if there is any more questions, now's definitely the time to send them in. We'll be firing them through, so we'll just leave it just for a couple more moments for you to get those final questions in. So really, this is a bit of a tough question, right? Sum up the range as a whole. Who have you got it for? You know, if someone's just tuned in to our live, what is the Vulcan range all about?
So the Vulcan range is really, it's a door opener. It's a commercially viable, cost-effective product. You know, if people are just looking to step into CNC machine tools, then this is the investment for them. They'll have a cost-effective investment in a machine, but they'll have the backup and support of a high-end turnkey provider.
And what is the variety in size of the range of milling that you turning you do?
So the range itself starts off as a 200mm 8-inch or /6-inch chucker. That goes all the way up to a 15-inch lathe. So really anything between a 6-inch chucker from turning length of 455 all the way up to 1200, all the way up to a 15-inch chucker with a maximum turning length of 6.5 meters. Anything that within those that portfolio we can cover.
Tony on YouTube, back to the lathes, Steve, are the tool precessors automatic?
Yes, so the tool itself can obviously drop down during automatic cycle for measuring and for in-process checking. I didn't touch on there as well, we've got a parts catcher in there for finished parts, and obviously we can segregate the bar ends as well.
Okay, and I've got some more questions just as you're looking inside that lathe. Superall 100 on YouTube, can you have BBT spindle?
Yes, so on all the VMCs, so what they're asking there is for the face and taper. This is the rigidity of the spindle. So yeah, across the full range of VMCs, they're all face and taper or BBT spindles.
And back again on the milling side, what's the range of the milling side?
The range starts from a 400 linear or box ray, and then stretches all the way up through to a 2.5 meter.
Right. Okay. Can you give an idea of the price again, please?
The idea on the price. So if we touched on the lathes and the mills, basically our entry level, our target market was to develop a range of machines that start less than £50,000. So again, from the VMCs, we've got an entry level machine that starts off at less than £50,000. On the turning side, on the lathes, we've got an entry level machine at less than £50,000. The idea being that we can put a mill and a lathe out to market for less than 100,000.
Absolutely brilliant. Right, I think we've quizzed Steve a little bit enough there. I think you're going to have a nice little sit down after this. So thank you. Look, on the MTD channel throughout today, we're going to be, poor Steve, interviewing him even more on each of the individual machines. We're also going to be speaking to a technician out in Taiwan. So make sure you're staying tuned with us, MTD CNC, on our Facebook and our YouTube channels throughout the whole day, because you are going to see more of this fantastic brand new range, the Vulcan range, from the Engineering Technology Group. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Lyndsey.